the best quarterbacks ever come to the PSL, in my opinion. And he's took that information that he had and transferred it to be one heck of a head coach. His Henry Ford Trojan team has always been a very physical and tenacious playing team. They're not very big, and they've never been very big. But what they do bring is a lot of heart and a lot of guts. I expect them to be very physical. I see a lot of gang tackling from these Henry Ford Trojans.
On the other side of the line, you have Coach John Dean, referred to as many as the Dean of Coaches in the PSL, and his Northern Jayhawks.
Coach Dean has been in Northern for, it seemed like he came there with the foundation. He's been there quite some time. There's going to be a very disciplined, very well-coached team, so I expect a great game from the Northern.
Also, I'd like to welcome Walter Tune-Up Neal to the cable cast. He'll be bringing you some of the sideline action. When we come back, we'll have the kickoff, the Trojans and the Jayhawks. Welcome to Lorenzo Wright, and we take this one off in progress as the Northern Jayhawks in the white and the Henry Ford Trojans in the brown. And that's Lamont Tate with the ball. As we're in their first drive for the Northern Jayhawks. The Northern, a team coached by John Dean, the Dean of Coaches in the PSL. And the Jayhawks, you know, when we talk about the Jayhawks, you have to talk about the big tight end, the Jayhawks, for the Jayhawks, number 88, and he's one big fella, had a great game.
I talked to a couple of coaches around.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, just saying, I talked to a couple of coaches around town about it and say he's a good major college prospect. He's big, runs well. He's up to about 220, 225, and he runs about a 4.5 40. There's the offense for Northern. As you can see, Andrews, Jackson, Honey, Webb, Simmons, Boone, and Springer.
And there's the rest of the starting offense for the Northern Jayhawks. Bennett, Coakley, Jackson, and Tate, the tailback. Tate had a real big game last week. Game against Murray Wright, 14-12 victory. That put the Northern Jayhawks into the playoffs. Quarterback feeling the pressure, gets it out to the other wing back, or the split end. Big number 84, Kobe Andrews.
Right here on the forward defense, you have Carmichael, Moore, Parker, Brooks, Wynn, Watson, and Allen. On the last play, James Coakley threw on the run to a bullet to number 84, Kobe Andrews. He's rest the forward defense right there. A nice throw and run by James Coakley, the quarterback for the Northern Jayhawks.
First to 10. Nice little nifty move there by number 21, D'Angelo Heron.
Number 21, the ball for
Look at the running back here and there.
Detroit Henry Ford has pretty much relied on their defense most of the season to carry them through this season and to this point. 6-0 coming into this playoff game. And, you know, talking to Mike Marshall throughout the season, he always refers back to the very first game of the season when they beat a suburban team, Utica Ford, who has had some success in the suburban area as one of the top teams in the Michigan and suburban area here and around Detroit. And he always refers back to that as a big victory. Here's a pass with Coakley, and it's caught.
Thomas Bennett. Good catch by Bennett. He slid in Bennett right there running a go pattern down the sideline. A nice pass, soft touch, nice spiral by Coakley. Caught Bennett, who wasn't really open. He was covered very well. The quarterback put the ball where it was supposed to be, right in Bennett's arm and stride. Northern showing a lot of poise and a lot of diversity on the offense here in the first series.
Detroit Henry Ford knew this was going to be a very tough game. Tate with the ball. Tate.
Running back Lamont Tate. Trying to share in the workload.
I'd like to remind you that the Detroit Public School League Championship game will be played right here on Lorenzo Wright Field in a couple of weeks, and you know who will be here to cover the game for you. It's Comcast Cablevision TV6. Catch our version of Monday Night Football with the TV6 Game of the Week. Monday night, October 30th at 8 p.m. That's the PSL Championship right here on TV6 Detroit.
The Trojan defensive unit deciding to try to make a stand here. They pretty much let them march downfield. But as they get closer to the goal line, they're going to try to make somewhat of a stance here to see if they can keep this Jayhawk team out of the end zone.
3rd down and 7, ball right around the 13-yard line of Detroit Ford. And just like you said, Stan, this has been a pretty good drive for the Jayhawks.
Back in an opening series, because I thought, that, as you mentioned before, I agree with you, the strong suit of this Trojan team is their defense.
Coakley looking left and looking right, and now being attacked by that Trojan defense, and he's brought down for a loss of a few yards there. And that brings 4th down and 7. And this is where sometimes your PSL teams fall just a little short on, and that's the kicking game. They lose a lot of opportunities to score in this red zone area.
As you look at the quarterback Coakley right there, people are wondering what is that under his arm. This is his rib cage. That's a flak jacket, F-L-K-E, flak jacket that keeps, when the quarterback is exposed when he's throwing the football, his ribs are showing us. That's just protection of his ribs. But again, to expound on what you said, Jeff, as we see Coakley go back to throw a pass right here, looks like it might be a touchdown.
Touchdown. And that's Kyrie Jackson on the reception, the big tight end who we talked about.
That's the man.
Yes. Big Division I prospect. Number 88 gets Northern on the board for 6.
And as we see that Northern is going to attempt, speaking of Jackson scored a touchdown, is going to attempt an extra point here. You don't find a lot of kids in the summertime kicking a great deal. They're concentrating on so many other parts of the game. And I think you're right in your assessment that that's where the public schools fail at. They don't spend enough time on the kicking game or developing a kicker in tight situations where they can win a game or at least tie a game with a short field goal or extra point. And they don't even kick it there. They fake the kick.
They fake it and go for 2 with the flea flicker there and the inside pitch to number 21, Thomas Bennett. Excuse me, number 21, I'm sorry, that's not Thomas Bennett, that's D'Angelo Heron. So they get 6 and then 2, 8-0. Your score early here in the first quarter of play.
Kind of a wake-up call here for this Trojan team to let you know that they're 6-0, and I'm quite sure they're looking at the Casses and the Kings of the city as to be their toughest challenge getting to the city championship. But Northern has another thing on their mind. let you know that they're coming to play. As you can see right here, we're looking at the conversion here. It looks like it's going to be a field goal. But what they do is they bring the wing back up underneath and pitch it to him, and he catches the ball, and he kind of catches Henry Ford off guard a little bit. And all they need is 3 yards to go for the 2-point conversion, and they're successful. This brings the score 8-0 in favor of the Northern Jayhawks.
Carmichael back deep for the Trojans. Jackson set to kick it, and here we go. A short kick, and this will go out of bounds. And let's see where the Trojans will opt to take over the ball. The Trojans 6-0 coming into this contest under Mike Marshall this year. And the Northern Jayhawks 4-1. Actually, that's 5-1 for the Northern Jayhawks. They're in Division III, along with Chatsey, Murray Wright, Kettering, and Finney. After the new alignment, the outright champion of Division III was Detroit Chatsey, who also made the playoffs. And Detroit Northern finished number 2 in the division with a record of 5-1. In Division I, victorious was the number 2 seed, Detroit King. Detroit Cast in Division I was the outright champion at 5-1 in division, and 5-0 in the division, and 5-1 overall. Jackson will kick it again. A short kick. And a decent return. Henry Ford will start in good field position. And Shaun Black will start at quarterback. And he also doubles as a punt return and kick return specialist.
Yeah, Black is a very, very dangerous man, as you can see him right there going on the field. He is one of the key main ingredients why Henry Ford has been 6-0.
Shaun Black, student body left. And that's what the Henry Ford offense is known for. That's turning the corner and picking up the big yards out of the T formation.
The Trojans have tremendous skilled players from the quarterback and their wide receivers and running back. They're game breakers, they're playmakers. They like to get the ball on the perimeter and exploit their speed and ability to show you what they can do around the corners. They will run some fullback up the middle to keep you honest, but when they get on the perimeter, it can be very, very dangerous.
And Coach Marshall found a new weapon. He was telling me he got a big fullback, a guy who's about 260 pounds that can run the ball. Shaun Black, good defense that time as defensive end. Kyrie Jackson made Shaun Black change directions as he contained him very well. And here's the Henry Ford offense. You got Black, Watson, Wallace, Carmichael, Dale, the tight end Johnson, and the quarterback Neely. And here's the front line, Dotson and Harvey. Second down after a loss of 2, second down and 12, ball on the 32. Black, student body left, and pulled down from behind. The defensive end, Jackson, in pursuit. Good job by Kyrie Jackson that time.
Maybe tight end's not his calling, maybe his defensive end. As you can see Northern's defense right here. We just talked about Jackson, the one who made the play. Brown, Webb, Bennett, Taylor, Judson, and Boyd. Jackson, the ball play on both sides of the football. Along with the secondaries, you see Tate playing strong safety, Andrews playing safety as well, Thomas and Heron playing the other cornerback.
Third and 15. Jackson has made 2 outstanding plays from his defensive end position. Black going to the air, looking for Carmichael. Defended very well. Kobe Andrews back in the free safety position, defending on the pass, knocked it away.
Very dangerous pass by Black that time. Actually, Northern had defended it very well. There are two defenders down there with the receiver, and I would think he would like to have that one over and look for his secondary receiver, because that ball could have very well been intercepted.
You know, when Mike Marshall goes to the air, he goes to it almost in desperation. There's the wobbly pass from Black. 4th down and 15. Wallace gets the call. And not enough for the first down.
Not sure who do you plan to fool on the 4th and about 8 yards. When you run a dive play off tackle, you got to get a little bit more creative than that and spread it out. Use your skill people, get around the corner on the outside and give them some room to make a play. Not off tackle, 4th and 8. That is not the play you want to run.
.309 here in the first quarter, 8-0. The Northern Jayhawks on top of the Henry Ford Trojans. High formation, one receiver split wide to the left. That's Kobe Andrews. Coakley with the give to the first back through. Not much there. Looks like he fumbled on the play.
I agree, but it looks like Northern has recovered the ball. I guess they have.
Henry Ford Trojans are no strangers to playoff situations. Outstanding kids have come out of the program under Mike Marshall, and he continues to produce some fine student athletes over at Detroit Henry Ford.
You see the play right here. Quarterback James Coakley loses the ball, was able to recover his own fumble and retain possession.
Testing the right side of that Henry Ford Trojan line. Not much there. Carrying the ball, number 87.
I believe it was 27 Lamont Tate there.
Yeah, 27.
Nevertheless, there was no place to run over there. The Henry Ford defenders had plugged the hole up well. Now brings up a 3rd and 12 situation for the Northern Jayhawks.
Minute 36 and counting here in the first quarter. Kobe Andrews split wide to the left. Coakley looking to his right and finding an open receiver. And a crushing block by Kyrie Jackson.
Receiver Charles Judson, the fullback in the flat. Had enough positive yards to get a Jayhawk first down. It appears I speak a little too soon because there's a penalty flag in the backfield. Let's see what the call is, and they're walking back, and obviously it's going to be against Northern.
Here's the call. Had enough for the first down, but the holding on the offense nullifies that. And they'll walk off 10 against the Jayhawks. When you talk Jayhawk football, you can't help but to mention Dwayne Goldberg, Robert Montgomery, guys who have come through the Northern system under Coach Dean and have been successful, even though they're Spartans.
Yeah, even though they are Spartans. Goldberg, unfortunately, had a leg break just before the season started, and he is in his 5th year, so therefore he cannot be redshirted and get an extra year. This is his extra year. He won't have the benefit of a full season. And he had 900 yards last year, and I'm quite sure the Spartans and Dwayne Goldborn up at MSU were looking for him to have a great year, possibly 1,000 yards rushing season.
Fourth down.
In his last year of eligibility, got 43 seconds left here in the first quarter.
And Detroit Northern feeling the pressure as Coakley gets sacked right there.
Had a little time, like he was holding the ball too long. He couldn't obviously see the pressure coming from his backside. After the first series, Northern has not been very successful here offensively. It seems like the Trojan defense has kind of figured out the game plan of the Jayhawks. It's kind of stifled them a little bit and got them moving backwards and in the wrong direction. They were on, it's like their 28 to 30 yard line initially. Actually, they started on the 31 yard line. Now they're back on the 12. So this Trojan defense has stepped up to the challenge and is moving them in the wrong, and moving the Jayhawks, I'm quite sure, in their minds, the wrong direction. And we have a third down and about 35 yards to go.
The Jayhawks let the clock run out in the first quarter. So your first quarter score, Northern 8, Henry Ford nothing. Welcome back to Lorenzo Wright Field, the home of the PSL playoffs. And as you saw, the Henry Ford Trojan cheerleaders doing their thing on the sidelines, cheering their fans on.
Let's go, D, let's go!
Third and 28 is on the clock. And there was some question about the clock, so it's third and 28 for the Northern Jayhawks. Coakley looking across the middle to the big tight end, a big catch.
Okay.
Khari Jackson trying to slam dunk the first down.
He looks like a man amongst boys out there.
Yes, he does.
He was covered, and he went up and got the ball anyway. And got as much as he could for the first down. He realized that he was short and didn't get first down yardage. I guess he's trying to stretch out for the first down. See the replay right here. He goes up, makes a good catch in traffic. And he sticks the ball forward as far as he can to get a first down. He's still short. As we come back to live action, we see that the Jayhawks had a punt to the Trojans.
Put together a good punt there, and the Trojans will start at their own 35-yard line for this series. Give to Wallace. Second down and 6, ball on the 39-yard line. Here's the pitch. Close to the first down for the Trojans.
Trojan, you won't see them pass very often unless they, as you mentioned before, in a desperate situation. They are running teams. They don't rely on the pass. They rely on the running of the quarterback Black and all their skilled position people. And if I'm Northern, I'm putting 8 men on the line of scrimmage.
Trojans go to power I. Into the fullback. That's a good run inside the tackles.
Excellent run, enough for first down yardage.
That's another first down for the Trojans. The Trojans, not a very big offensive line, and Coach Mike Marshall says he would rather coach small linemen because they move quicker and get to the spot. Here's Carmichael on the reverse. Has the escort services. He can get outside and turn the corner. He does. The speed of Carmichael gets the Ford Trojans another first down.
Excellent speed by Carmichael. With a number 1 in little legs. He kind of reminds you of Anthony Carter. He ran reverse and been around the outside.
So Marshall going to the tricks, trying to catch the Northern Jayhawks defense in an over-pursuing mood. But Jackson will have none of that. Khari Jackson.
We were joking earlier that his calling may be on defense. We may not be joking now. He's a tremendous defensive player. At least that's what he's shown thus far here in the first half. You see him picture-perfect tackle. He hits him, he drives him to the ground. That's the way you make a tackle. Textbook form tackle by Khari Jackson.
Jackson is the type of guy where you have to know where he is on the field at all times.
Exactly.
And they're moving him around a little bit. Up the middle. That's Wallace, number 5 on the carry for the Trojans.
Number 5, Anthony Barden on the ball carrier for Henry Ford. 7 Charles Jackson North. It'll be 3rd and 6.
Big play coming up here for the Trojans. Got a 3rd and 6 coming up at a power I formation. It's coming back. Great run.
Into the secondary and inside the 5, but flags on the play. And when you see flags right there, you can't think nothing but holding.
More likely to be a holding call. It's a nice individual effort once he got into the secondary by breaking tackles and eluding them, getting close to the goal line. But they're going to bring it back.
So they'll walk that off against the Ford Trojans. And Coach Mike Marshall, very active guy on the sidelines. And I think he's one of the best, and I said this before, at coaching from ground level. Just some of the things you can't normally see from ground level, but he does an outstanding job for coaching from ground level because most of the schools in the public schools don't have press boxes and don't have that advantage.
Exactly right.
Black looking across the middle, finding Carmichael in the secondary. Excellent move by Carmichael.
Excellent throw by Black as well. It hit Carmichael in stride, which allowed him to make some other things happen after he made the catch. As we mentioned earlier, that the Trojans are not a passing team. They don't choose to go to the air very often. However, that time they went to the air with some much success. You can see the replay right here. Black steps into the pocket, throws a nice spiral, hits Jackson in stride. See him right here, throws a move, eludes one tackler. Got to put that ball away before he fumbles it. Nice first down play.
Back to the action, a good strong move in between the tackles there. Picks up a couple of yards for the Trojans. They can get a first down without actually getting a touchdown and have to get to the 1 for a first down. Second down and 7. Ball is on the 9. Power I formation right. The give off the left side, flags on the play. The advantage of the front line goes to the Northern Jayhawks as far as size is concerned. But when you have quickness
on the defensive team, 12 men on the field.
Oh, a big blow there.
Yeah, that kind of helps too.
Yeah.
You got an extra guy out there. That makes you just look a little bit bigger.
and they still gained some yardage on the play.
Exactly.
With the extra guy on the field. And let's see where they'll spot the ball here. So they spot it right at the 4-yard line. Second down. And a long 2. But that's going to be a touchdown for the Trojans. So after the Jayhawks made it look easy going up right down the field in their first series, the Trojan defense makes a stand. And now the Trojan offense puts one on the board.
Here's the, I don't think the Trojans will even attempt to try to kick an extra point.
That was Watson on the carry. Now here's the big fullback Mike Marshall was telling us about. And he's he didn't get the call that time. And they didn't get in for the extra point.
Let's go!
Yeah,
8-6 your score. Big number 33 there.
You see him coming off the screen. Maybe he should have got the call.
He was the lead blocker on the play, but they couldn't get it in. The Trojans put Big 6 on the big scoreboard here at Lorenzo Wright. There's your score. Northern 8, Henry Ford 6. We got Walter Neal on the sidelines. Walter, where are you, good buddy? Take it away.
This is a young man on the way to the Million Man March. Also, he's a concerned parent. He's at every practice, everything possible. He's a part of it. His son plays for the team. Anthony Barksdale, Sr., you got to be proud of your son. Man.
He's a fantastic guy. I'm very proud of him as a football player. As far as academics are concerned and everything else, we're off to the Million Man March Sunday, and I hope all the brothers out there come on and go. It's going to be fabulous for a great cause.
Got to ask you a question. He plays how many positions?
Anywhere he's basically needed, anywhere from about 5 to 8 positions he's out there. Cornerback, inside linebacker, on the line, everywhere.
Everywhere.
At least 8 positions.
Let's watch him. He's number 5, Anthony Barksdale, Henry Ford. Back up to you guys in the booth. Stan, Jeff.
Tune up. Thanks a lot. That's a concerned parent who obviously is very instrumental in his son's life and making sure that his son stays on track and showing that in their household, family values come first. That's what we need in most of it, in just about all our households, to correct some of this madness that's going on around us, unfortunately.
And I want to say, too, if you can't make it to the march, you have to continue the fight right here at home. There's many ways you can do that.
Exactly. We don't need to go to Washington to make sure that we care about one another.
Kyrie Jackson, the big man, back in punt formation. So he is he's returning kicks, kicking the ball, and doing it all for the Northern Jayhawks. Here's that touchdown again.
As you can see right here on the replay, it's a quick hitting play up the middle. And that's one of the Trojans' bread and butter play. That off-tackle play or the play up the middle. They really like to get outside and run the perimeter, but they will make sure you stay honest and stay home right up over the ball and run the ball up the middle. Khari Jackson, he does everything for the Trojans. He kicks, he tackles, he catches. He's probably out there coaching as well.
Outstanding leader. Movement on the offensive line. Big number 64 jumped on the offense, but they might call it against Henry Ford because here's the encroachment area. And it looks like the official was pointing to one of the offensive players on the left end, saying that he moved first. Let's see here. Here's the call. And it is against the offense, and they'll walk off 5 yards.
The referee
on encroachment,
Mr. Winchester.
We have illegal procedure on the offense.
One of the PSL's finest referees for many years.
6:43 and counting if you're just joining us. We're in the second quarter of this PSL playoff game. The Trojans of Henry Ford and the Jayhawks of Detroit Northern. 8-6 your score. Northern with the ball. Pressure. And on the play, number 33 taking his first tackle.
Yeah, he's got to decide he's going to throw the ball a lot sooner than that. The man was open, and obviously the quarterback felt that he wasn't. You can't stand back there and hold the ball all day. He had enough time to make some decisions. If not throw it to that man, throw the ball away so at least you don't lose any yardage. You see right here on the replay, he's set, and he's looking and he's waiting. Can't wait that long. You got to do something with the ball. Either throw it away or throw the ball and look for an open man.
William Ross looking like Jerry Ball going through there.
Yes, sir, he does. It's a big fullback on offense there in the goal line situation.
Yes, wearing that little bitty number, 33. Coakley feeling the pressure. Now being sacked, tried to get the pass off. That's incomplete. The Trojans want grounding, though. I don't think they'll get it. Henry Ford 6-0.
You got the replay here, as you can see. He drops back. Like he wants to go long. He's looking downfield. He pumps fake there. You see a lot of the Northern linemen standing around as the quarterback gets sacked. He's able to get the ball away and get an incomplete pass. Kind of must have hurt me from the last play.
One thing that I did see when the Henry Ford defensive tackle or defensive end went to the ground, he kept coming, and he was on his knees. Tate breaking some tackles there.
Nice run. Nice run by Lamont Tate.
He goes to the backer. Because he got to keep the end goes upfield.
Barksdale, number 5, on that last sack by the Henry Ford Trojans. If you could probably see it in your frame here, continually pursuing. There he is right there, just missing the tackle, but look at the balance by Tate.
Tremendous balance by him. He knew he wasn't down. As young ball players, if you're in Little League or junior varsity watching it, you don't stop until the whistle blows. You don't assume that you're down, and you assume that they're going to call you down. You keep your legs moving until you hear the sound of the whistle.
Let's see what the call is here. Didn't see the indication. They say it was a holding against the defense. Now, explain that to me, Stan. I don't understand sometimes how they make that type of call.
So what happens a lot of time is you may have a lineman that's pulling out to block the perimeter, and the defensive lineman will grab his jersey to keep him from pulling out, and that's defensive hold. You can't grab linemen either offensively or defensively to keep them from moving. Or in any way trying to restrict their mobility.
That was D'Angelo Herron trying to turn the corner for Northern and not successfully.
Got a 4th down in about 8 situation here. Northern has won 1 fake on the kick earlier in this game. Let's see what they do here.
And it looked like the Ford Trojans were coming after it. Carmichael gets it on the run, tries to slip a couple of tackles, and the Ford Trojans will start right around the 36-yard line. Join us in putting a stop to the pre-Halloween night arson in the city of Detroit on October 29th, 30th, and 31st. We're looking for volunteers. We are in desperate need in several areas for this project. For more information, call your local neighborhood city hall or contact the City Hall Central at this number, 224-2989.
And every able body, if your schedule and your health will allow, needs to volunteer to stop the Devil's Night arson.
Second down and 10, ball on the 44 of the Trojans. 3:44 here in the second quarter. Stan Edwards, I'm Jeff Lowe bringing you this action along with Walter Neal. And the Trojans continue to move the ball as that's a big play.
That's a run there at the back. That's the way a back is supposed to do on his own. He had a lot of downfield blocking, but he broke a lot of tackles on that play. It's a tremendous play.
Keel Watson on the carry. And Keel kept on churning, didn't he?
He sure did. 2 or 3 times. Looked like you see the replay here. Looked like he's going to be stopped. Looked like he was going to be stopped there. He didn't allow it to happen. Kept his legs moving there. Still got him downfield. He shoved up another tackler right there. finally lowers his shoulder after about a 25, 30-yard pickup. Excellent run.
And there's a look at Keel Watson. And Carmichael on the sideline, and Coach Mike Marshall talking it over during this timeout. One of the newest coaches in the league here, Coach Mike Marshall.
Mike in his mid-30s, played back at Southwestern High School as a quarterback.
Outstanding quarterback over there.
Outstanding quarterback. Took the Southwestern Prospectors to the city championship in 1975. You can see the score 8-6 in favor of the Jayhawks with 3 minutes and 27 seconds left before the half. See the referees, so the guys in the striped shirts, the Zebra crew,
yes,
conversing about.
And they've had some talk about the officials, and I guess, you know, and that's been in the pro game, but that also affects high school officials too, and their ability to make the right call.
Exactly.
You know.
I don't think that the money will allow for them to go to instant replay in high school. However, a lot of officials are under scrutiny here to see if they can do as good a job as they've been trained to do.
T formation. Black. Student body right tries to outrun the pursuit of Kyrie Jackson, and Jackson showing some outstanding speed and ability right there.
Black is not a very slow player, and Jackson was able to run him down the sideline. That's like I said. We talked about his ability of playing tight end. His calling may be on defense. As you can see here on the replay, you see Jackson running stride for stride with the quarterback. You talk about a lineman, he grabs him, pulls him down from behind. That will make the scouts drool.
Yes. Michigan, are you watching? No, I hope I'm not doing any violation there. No, you're sure.
Yeah, I didn't say a word.
But as I took a stroll through the stands, and you know, before the game started, noticed a lot of recruiters out there with their watchful eye trying to find that player. Black trying to turn the corner and find the end zone.
Touchdown.
And he does. So the Trojans have definitely figured out something here. And I think what it is run away from Kyrie Jackson, number 88. Henry Ford gives it to the big man, and he carries it in.
There he is. Refrigerator number 2.
Yes. And he gets a big cheer from the crowd. Exclusively a short yardage back. And Cass Tech has a version of the big backfield also.
Exactly.
.219 on the clock as Henry Ford puts up another score, 14-8 your score in favor of the Trojans of Detroit Ford.
It's a well-fought ball game by both teams. Both teams showing some tenacity on defense, some versatility on offense. 2:14. Let's see if Trojan defense can hold this Northern offense. I'm quite sure Northern's got other things on their mind, see if they can get in field goal range or try to get another touchdown on before the half.
It's going to be interesting to see if Detroit Northern will probably, well, offensively this series, I know they're going to probably go straight to Kyrie Jackson. It's going to be interesting to see how Henry Ford defends him as he gets the ball on this kickoff. The big fella rumbling. Whoa! Watch out. The man who tackled him is still down.
That's the only way you can hit a man like that. Kyrie Jackson is is a load to bring down. You cannot take him up high. You got to hit him where his strength is and try to, it's kind of like chopping down a tree. You don't chop a tree down from the top. You got to hit it low and yell timber. As you mentioned, the ball carrier is still down. But he did his job.
Yes. Sometimes, you know, when you go down as a kickoff person, the specialty teams coach expects you to be kind of like a kamikaze.
You got to just go down there and just throw your body around and bust the wedge and just run into the ball carrier.
Coach Mike Marshall knows the number 21 there, and we'll get a name on that player. He's up and he's up but wobbly after bringing down big Khari Jackson. But he's walking off under his own power, but kind of wobbly there.
Yeah, his legs don't look real good. He needs to sit down and kind of get his head clear and make sure he's okay. This is a playoff game, but we don't want to see anyone injured.
First and 10 for the Jayhawks. Ball on the 29. Coakley going up the field to Jackson's area, and he can't make the play. What a luxury to put your big tight end in the split end position and running downfield and watch him outrun DBs.
Again, we see another trait, characteristic, or at least the versatility of Kyrie Jackson, showing that he can also line up wide and go deep down the sideline with a minute 57 left before the half. Northern's definitely trying to get on the scoreboard.
Ball is on the 17-yard line of Northern. Coakley going to the short route to Jackson. Jackson trying to make some room on his own there. And I think that's what Coach Dean wants. He wants to isolate him.
Yeah, they're going to try to get him one-on-one, see if they can get him in the open space with a smaller man and see if he can make a play. However, if I'm Henry Ford, I'm not going to let him line up one-on-one with any of my players. I'm going to put at least 2 men on him.
You almost have to double him every time out.
Tune up.
Now Jackson lines up in the tight end, and Kobe Andrews is wide to the right.
Tune up.
Lamont Tate on the carry for Northern. Carmichael back deep in punt formation. 4th down and 6. Ball right at the 24 of Detroit Northern. And the Jayhawks will punt. Excellent punt. Carmichael takes it on the run, fumbles the ball. The ball will be called dead, though. Let's go to Walter Tune-Up Neal on the field. Walter, take it away.
We've got a couple injured players down on the field. Number 62, alignment. He has a, looks like a severely sprained ankle. He's going to try to get back in the action. Also, Johnny Smith, number 21, injured on the kickoff return. He's a bit wowsy right now, kind of whoopy in the leg. Hopefully he'll be back, too, and get some more action here on the game, okay? Back up to you guys in the booth.
Thanks a lot.
Whooping in the legs. I've never heard that term before. I guess that means his legs are not all together.
Not all there.
Yeah.
Your score 14-8. The Trojans over the Jayhawks. And the fans enjoying this high school action here at Lorenzo Wright Field.
There's Darnell Hall down there. Probably in the third quarter. Let's try to get an interview with him. He's in the row right in front of you, about 3 people. Now, Darnell, I hate to bother you. Darnell, if you don't mind, probably not now. Sometime between the halftime and the third quarter, you want to do an interview, if you don't mind. I'll mail the check to you.
There you go. The Trojan marching band getting set to march on to the field. 11 minutes before the half. And you're right, we spotted Darnell Hall in the stands enjoying this one. A graduate of Detroit Osborne, right? Pershing, I'm sorry.
Pershing High.
Excuse me, Darnell. I'm sorry.
With the Blinn College in Texas and tore up the world circuit in indoor and outdoor season. Was second in the world to Michael Johnson in the indoor season. Actually won the world championships in Barcelona indoor. Took fifth in the outdoor world championship in Gothenburg, Sweden.
Screen pass. And that will end the first half of play as the Trojans are in the lead, 14-8 over the Northern Jayhawks. We'll be right back with some halftime stats after this. Welcome back to Lorenzo Wright Field as the Trojan marching band marches on for the halftime entertainment. And there's your halftime score, 14-8. The Trojans on top of the Jayhawks. And Stan, your observation of that first half.
Well played first half by both squads, both offensively and defensively. The score doesn't show it, but this game is just about even as far as I'm concerned. Both teams had some success moving the ball offensively. They did what they wanted to do. However, the defenses, when they needed to, they stood up to the challenge and they stopped them in certain key critical areas. So both teams are going to go in at halftime and really get back to the drawing board and find out what they can do to combat the other one's offensive and defensive schemes. I do suspect that Northern will probably mix it up a little bit more than Henry Ford. Henry Ford is going to be a pretty basic team. They're going to not really change what they do most of the time. Northern has some things up their sleeves and some wrinkles that they haven't used in the first half that I think they'll use here in the second half.
There you have it, and now let's listen in to the Trojan marching band. You've been listening to the Trojan High School Marching Band of Detroit Henry Ford. We'll be back with some quick halftime stats after this. Hang on. It's all yours, big fella. This is what you call great playoff action on top of Henry Ford Trojans. They are, by the way, undefeated. This is a long-time friend of mine. We go way back. Coach Menifee, now athletic director of Henry Ford. Coach, you got to be happy, huh?
Well, I'm very happy about it. And Keith, you said long-term friend, but after all, you used to be one of my students back at Redford High School. Okay?
So my age now.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm pretty old myself by now, but I enjoy it. We're in good shape.
So, Coach, you got to be happy with the program so far, especially Coach Mike Marshall.
Well, Mike Marshall is a very good coach, and I've always told him I thought he was one of the best coaches in the public school league. And yes, I am quite proud of him, and I think he does an outstanding job at Henry Ford High School.
I got to tell you, Coach, athletic director of Menifee, you've done such an outstanding job these past 2 years, and you're building a new stadium too, I heard.
Well, it's in the works. We are trying to get the total program up at Henry Ford High School. The facilities was down a little bit, and we feel that we can bring the total program up by doing the stadium. Hopefully, we can get an all-weather track like this one down here, and at the same time, we're doing the gym also. We're trying to get the total program up at Henry Ford High School.
Well, great luck in the playoffs, okay?
Well, thank you very much, Keith.
Mr. Menifee, back up to you guys, Stan and Jeff in the booth. Thanks a lot, Walter, and thank you, Mr. Menifee. Plans to build a new facility on the property of Detroit Henry Ford over there. Big plans, yes, sir. We're almost set to start the second half of play. Henry Ford 14 and the Northern Jayhawks 8. Getting set for the kickoff. And we're going to take a look at the first half statistics here. And there you have them, Stan. Passing yards, Northern 73, Henry Ford. Not much through the air there. Nothing through the air.
And it's ironic, it's funny how these stats don't necessarily tell the whole story. And actually, Northern has been more successful running the football, and that's Henry Ford's bread and butter is running the football. However, the first down yardage is probably what sticks out in my mind. They obviously have 2 more first downs than Northern, and what you can see is that if they had an opportunity to maintain the ball a little bit more than Northern had an opportunity to, and thus they'll get the ball here starting the second half. So it'll be interesting to see what's up in store, what changes each team made in the locker room at halftime to combat the other's strategy. As you can see, Mr. Jackson getting ready to tee it off. I'm looking for an exciting second half, Jeff. This should be a really, really tough football game, and I suspect it'll go down to the wire.
Yes, it will. I believe it will also. As Jackson kicks one, act deep, Carmichael goes to one knee, but they really didn't call it, loses the ball. The ball is loose. And the Northern players indicate that they have it.
They haven't determined yet. This is the time you don't stop fighting.
Old momentum. We'll soon find out. I see some Northern players indicating that they have the ball. No, Henry Ford will retain possession of the ball. And man, momentum would have jumped up and jumped on the other side if the Northern Jayhawks had recovered that one.
Yes, it would have. It had been something that Northern needs to get them cranked up here in the second half. I expect the Henry Ford Trojans to maintain running the football here and trying to establish some type of grounding game here in opening series of the second half.
The Trojans go to the tee, trying to get outside, and does, but not before the good pursuit of the Jayhawks, tracking down. Bennett on the stop. It amazes me sometimes on how teams operate here. As you can see, the guard and the tackle on that left side for the Trojans try to get out in front.
Exactly. As you can see right there on the replays.
Live action
nice
there.
Run. I got kind of caught looking at the live action as opposed to the replay. I'll explain the replay. Right quick, it appears that he got a nice little ankle sprain there. Yeah, I guess that's that woozy leg that Tune-Up Man was talking about.
That's Keel Watson. He's been eating up some valuable yardage for the Trojan, and Mike Marshall doesn't want to see him come out the game.
No. Going back to that last replay, Henry Ford loves to get out on the perimeter and show their speed, but Northern has done an excellent job of beating him out there and waiting for him and stringing him out, making sure they don't do that. So what Henry Ford goes to do, as you can see right there in that play, it's okay, you won't let us get around you, we'll go right at you and go up the middle. As you can see, they hit the big fullback up the middle.
William Ross, number 33, the big fella. I always like to refer to that formation every time a big fella gets the ball. It makes me feel good.
I know it does, Big Daddy. I know it does.
That's the jumbo formation. He gets it again. Especially when he's a big fella and he's an athlete and he can move like number 33.
Yeah, he is pretty nimble to have a little excess around the midsection there. As you can see, he's coming off the field.
He's carrying about 250 or 60 pounds.
It's pretty compact. It doesn't look like it's really hampering his play at all.
Student body left and shooting the gap right there. Number 50 in on the play, and that's Tyree Brown.
Excellent play by Brown, getting in there, stopping him for a loss.
Got Tune-Up Man on the sidelines. Tune-Up, take it away.
Who's that with you, Tune-Up?
Well, the PSL playoffs bring out all the superstars. We got one here, 1996 Olympics, Mr. Darnell Hall, the Pershing alumni. Hey, Darnell, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. Just getting myself ready for the, next year Olympics in '96 in Atlanta.
For those of us out there who don't know about Darnell Hall, tell a little bit about yourself as far as what do you be doing in the '96 Olympics?
Well, I'll be running the 400 meters individual. I'm 1992 Olympic gold medalist in the 4x400 relay, 1995 world indoor champion, 1995 ranked number 3 in the world. And also I won a gold medal in the World Championships in Gothenburg, Sweden.
Now, I know you out here checking out Henry Ford against Northern. Who you taking tonight?
I like Henry Ford. They're real quick, and I really like speed. So they have a good chance of winning.
What about your Persian Doughboys who are also in the playoffs?
Well, I wish they would have been in this playoffs, but I guess the state was meaning a lot, but they should have been here.
Good luck in the Olympics, man. Thanks for talking to me. Back to you guys in the booth.
Darnell mentioned speed, and that's why he's out here, to watch the Trojans.
That's one thing that a lot of people do not understand. If you're going to play football, if you want to make it to the next level, whatever level you're on, whatever that next level may be, you must have speed.
And it's a lot of guys who make that transition from track to football.
A lot of guys do. What guys don't understand is you may not have a lot of talent or a lot of ability, but if you can sprint and you can run away from people, boy, they'll find a place for you. You may not be the greatest receiver or the greatest running back in the world, but if you can run fast, it's something you can do. We'll find a spot for you.
I remember Ronaldo Nehemiah.
Exactly. Made 2, 3, almost $500,000 playing with the 49ers 2 or 3 years and couldn't play.
Didn't even play high school football, did he?
No, but he clocked a 4.2 in the 100 meters, in the 40-yard dash, and they figure, oh, we'll find some place for you. We don't know where, and he had $500,000 before it. $500,000 later, they find out he couldn't play. However, he banked $500,000 because he was fast. They'll never tell you, son, we can't use you because you're too fast. They'll never tell you that.
Tate on the carry right there picks up a couple yards for the Northern Jayhawks. And you know what? If you take a look at the Oakland Raiders, they have a 440 team running wide receiver for them.
They have a sign in the corner of their end zone that says "Speed Kills." And Al Davis loves speed. They like to throw the deep route. Most of the out routes in the NFL are ran anywhere between 15 and 16 yards. They run all of their out routes for 22 yards, which means the quarterback has to hold it longer, but they expect their wide receivers to get down there in a long amount of time. They like to run the stretch offense. They like to run the deep patterns down the field, and to do that, you must have speed.
Little movement in the offensive line. You know, when you look at your successful high school programs, one thing that they possess is also great speed. And I'm talking about Henry Ford right now.
Exactly.
You talk about Cass with Williams last year,
exactly.
who was an outstanding guy on the track field and an outstanding football player. And, you know, your most successful teams have the combination of speed and some power.
And a lot of high school guys are going to watch our telecast, and if you're watching, and even the Little League guys, I'm going to tell you something. You can take it for what it's worth. You can not pay attention to it. You can let it go one out to other. If you plan on playing the next level, if you don't run track and increase your speed, you're kidding yourself. You're not going to do anything. Even the linemen, you'd be surprised how fast Bruce Smith, Lomas Brown, Henry Thomas, Reggie White, all those guys, you'd be surprised how fast they are. These guys can flat out run. They may not be sprinters, but they can run.
There's another guy that can run. He almost caught up with that one. That's number 88, Kyrie Jackson, but that ball was thrown into coverage. Good defensive coverage by the secondary of Detroit, Henry Ford.
Yeah, I think the quarterback had his eye on Jackson all the way, and he telegraphed that and had the defenders that he wasn't open. He's got to learn to come back, as you can see the replay right here. You can see him looking all the way at one man. His helmet never turns, which means he didn't survey the field. So he's looking for one man, and they know he's looking back, so they were sitting back there waiting for it. He's got to go to a second option, or on that play to make sure that he doesn't throw in the coverage.
Carmichael almost had the pickoff for the Henry Ford Trojans. 3rd down and 9. Ball right at the 30-yard line. Coakley dropping back, getting flushed out and sacked. And that's a fumble. And it goes out of bounds.
You know, I think that ball came out before he hit the ground. I'm not real sure. Hopefully we can maybe get a chance to look at it again. But I think the referee had already called him down because he was probably with, you know, a foot from landing on the ground, but everything happened so fast you assume that the next thing, we will see it. Here we see the replay right here as the quarterback quickly drops back. He takes the handoff right there. He's looking downfield, but he doesn't see anybody. He tries to tuck it under, and as you can see, the ball it's close. It's close. I couldn't really tell.
Very close.
It may have well been a fumble.
Here's a good punt. Carmichael didn't call for a fair catch. Drops it and picks it up. And finally, Kobe Andrews makes him pay for that mistake as he gets slammed to the turf.
Carmichael has a lot of courage. He is not scared to run the ball back. He's not fair caught any balls. I would suggest, if I was his coach, you got to fair catch that ball there. He wants to run the ball back. He's an exciting run. You can tell he's got a lot of speed. We saw him going around the corner earlier in the game, and he looks like a game breaker. He wants to show the people once he gets the ball in the open field that he can make some things happen.
On that last sack, you saw for Henry Ford was Barksdale, a little guy who's a running back on offense and a down lineman on defense. And that's some versatility right there for you.
Right. That's exactly it.
You know, looking at this Henry Ford offensive line, they don't have a guy over 6 foot tall.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, when you're interior lineman, you expect at least maybe one guy to be anywhere from 6'2" to 6'3". You have all guys that are under 6 feet, and they're still dominating the line of scrimmage.
And most of the guys are probably under 220 pounds, or I would say under 190, most of the guys on the offensive line.
Exactly. But they're very quick, with a good technique, and they're very strong.
Shaun Black on the carry. It's going to make it 3rd and 8. Excuse me, 3rd and a long 3, we'll call it. Carmichael going wide out, checking with the referee, making sure he's not offside. And Watson shaking off that early sprain ankle to come on back and get some positive yardage.
He shut that off pretty well, too.
Yes. Ball control offense for the Trojans. Black checking with his tailbacks or his running backs, make sure they're in the right place. Pitch to the left, trying to turn the corner. Tough getting outside there. Three minutes and 38 and counting. Second down and 9. Watson gets the call, spinning, and is close to another first down.
Oh, he's hitting it running, too. He's popping up there like he's shot out of a cannon. He's getting a quick-hitting dive play. He's getting nothing but positive yardage. And that's the kind of ball control offense that Henry Ford loves to run.
And it looks like that little line of Detroit Henry Ford is kind of beating and wearing the Northern line down. Watson gets the call again, straight ahead.
Look at that leg drive.
And in the first half, we were calling the number 88 a lot. And I haven't seen him in on a tackle yet in this second half. And here it is again from ground level and right into your living room.
You see Watson coming forward. He's got those legs constantly moving forward, driving, getting every yard that's there to get. And the Trojans are really controlling this ground attack right here. They're doing exactly what they want to do, and that's rush the football.
Keel Watson getting some congratulatory handshakes on the sideline. And the big fella, William Ross.
Oh no, Tyree Brown flung the big fella to the ground that time.
Yes, he did.
I was pretty impressed by that tackle. You see a replay here. Watch number 50. As you can see him right there in the back. Takes him, slings the big fella. He had a little help, but still, that's a feat within itself.
He gets the call again.
And not that time.
Come right back to him off the left side as Ross picked up some good yardage there. Third and goal. Just short of a touchdown for the Trojans. Third down and goal. Think he'll get it again?
I think so.
Let's see if he can fall for 6 inches. Here he goes. The big fella.
Touchdown.
Over the top. William Ross.
The big fella.
Ross makes it 20-8. A minute and 16 here in the third quarter of play.
He's the hero of every little kid who just may have had one too many Twinkies.
Or every little kid who wants to play Little League football but didn't make the weight limit.
They didn't make the weight. They ran all morning. They had the garbage bag under their uniform, jumping down, jumping around, doing jumping jacks. As we see here, runs out of bounds and gets the 2-point conversion, and they still didn't make the weight. That's got to be frustrating.
So Ross gets in, excuse me, not Ross, but Shaun Black gets in for 2, makes it 22-8. As he picks up his towel, I'm sorry. And here it is again. Just sprint to the flag. Now that's the touchdown. The big fella coming right in your face. Big William Ross. Tipping the scales at about 270 pounds and running tailback.
That sounds scary.
Sounds like the Nigerian Nightmare. What was that
Christian Okoye.
Christian Okoye. Yeah.
Nigerian Nightmare.
There's your score, 22-8. Detroit Public School League football here, the playoffs. The first round, Northern and Henry Ford. Jackson back deep. They kick this one away from Jackson, and that's short and out of bounds. And that brings a flag. Official forgot to pick up his flag over there, and one of the guys on the sideline goes and grabs it for him. You need that, buddy.
The only way you can call a penalty.
That's right. Ford will be forced to kick it over, this time from the 35. And Lamonte, Kyrie Jackson back deep to receive the kick. This one's kicked, and Jackson gets it at the 15. Goes straight ahead. Jackson breaking some tackles. Kyrie Jackson trying to get outside. Loses the ball. Looks like Henry Ford recovered.
That's too bad. That's too bad. That was a tremendous effort by Jackson. But he's got to put the ball away. He's been carrying like a loaf of bread all day, and he's got to put the ball away. And that's unfortunate because he has been playing like a madman.
Let's go to Walter Tune-Up Neal. He's with a group of cheerleaders from Henry Ford. Take it away, Walter.
We've got the score 22-8. Tune-Up man on the field with the Henry Ford cheerleaders. Let's go around the horn and introduce everybody.
Danielle, class 96. Tracy, a.k.a. Baby C. Hi, Cynthia Dog. Crystal McGlynn, class 98. Soy Bell, class 97. John Ellis, EJMA. Shorty. Monica represent class 97.
They definitely got something to cheer about. The score, 22-8. We've got more action with the Henry Ford Trojans and the cheerleaders. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Thank you for bringing it back upstairs. This one's picked off. And that's Kobe Andrews with the interception. So Andrews gets the interception as Henry Ford tries to go upstairs and down the sideline to Carmichael.
Kobe Andrews wasn't going to have any of that. He went up there. He kind of read the quarterback's eyes, knew he was going to go deep. He's kind of laid back, and once the ball went up, wouldn't made the interception. Had a nice return off it as well.
That's going to do it for the third quarter of play. Your score, the Trojans 22 and the Northern Jayhawks 8. Welcome back to the action. And just a reminder once again, join us in putting a stop to the pre-Halloween night arson in the city of Detroit on October 29th and 30th and 31st. Volunteers are needed in several areas of this project. For more information, call your local neighborhood city hall or contact the City Hall Central at this number, 224-2989.
Please get involved. It's a very worthwhile program. We need to stop this foolishness on Devil's Night.
Going to see if the Northern offense can get cranked up here. High formation. Coakley dropping straight back. Pumps once. Goes to Kobe Andrews down the sideline. Big catch by Andrews.
strikes, 43-yard TD. Coakley to Andrews.
He took it from him. He absolutely took it from him. That was a great catch. I thought the ball was going to be somewhat underthrown. It got there, but the defensive back was in position to make the play. But Kobe Andrews wanted it more. He went up there and absolutely just took it from him. Great play by Kobe Andrews. As you can see the replay right here, quarterback, what he ran was an out and up. When he turned out, he pump faked him to get the safety to draw up. Then he went out there, and I just didn't think the quarterback had enough on it because the defensive back's in position, but it depends on who wanted it most. Kobe Andrews took it from him. Great concentration. Touchdown is exactly what the Jayhawks need to get back in this football game, Jeff.
And there's Andrews trying it into the end zone for the Big Six on the big scoreboard. 22-14. And Jackson getting set to kick the point after. And unusual, no one's there to hold the ball for Northern. You need your holder. Coach Dean is signaling for a timeout, though. He wants to talk this one over. Let's go down to Walter. Walter, tune up Neil. Take it away. I must be in the front row. I got the livest seat in the house talking to all the pretty ladies from Henry Ford. They are here to cheer on the Henry Ford Trojans. I'm going to go around the horn real quick and get some names. Hey.
Tiana, Toya, Octavia, class of 96. Lisa, Chance, baby, number 4.
What about in the back here?
Lisa, Neil.
And Mew.
Meow.
Basketball player of the year, Henry Ford. Everybody's here cheering on who, y'all? They love them all, y'all. They're on top right now, 22-14. Back to more action. Jeff and Stan, back up to you in the booth. Thanks a lot, Walter. We're going to go to a quick break right here. Your score, Henry Ford 22, Northern 14. Your score on the big scoreboard, 22-14, 11:47 here in the fourth quarter. Northern had to take a timeout to talk over the strategy on the extra point situation here. If they wanted to go for 2 or if they wanted to go for 1. They're going to go for 2, so they line up in a play calling situation in the power I right. There's the give to Heron, and he's not in. So the 2-point conversion attempt is no good. So the Trojan defense rises to the occasion right there and holds the Northern offense on the 2-point conversion attempt. A lovely, lovely evening in the city of Detroit for football. And folks, you just wouldn't believe this is October, but it is. And I'm glad for this lovely weather. Hope it continues. Stan Edwards, along with Jeff Lowe, bringing you this action of the PSL playoffs, and Walter Tune-Up Neal on the sidelines. And Stan, they called the timeout. They wanted to discuss whether they're going to go for 2 out of a regular formation, and they changed the formation, went to the power I, and didn't get in.
That play could very well loom large for Northern here, because obviously they're in. That is the point that could keep them from winning this football game. They really needed those 2 points to stay even with Henry Ford. Now they're going to have to go for 2 every time they get the ball out to make sure that they can at least stay even with them.
Jackson ready to kick. Gets this one deep to Carmichael. Gets it right around the 20. Bobbles it a little bit. Tries to look for some daylight. Gain of only about 6 yards on the return. So you can look for this ball control offense of the Trojans to just burn some time off the clock. Defensively, I think the Northern Jayhawks just have to contain Black, because you can look for him to go outside.
Yeah, I think he's going to try to exploit the perimeter of this Northern Jayhawk defense. That's one of the strengths of the Trojan offense, is around the outside. They've been successful running the ball up the middle, and they got out of period. Well, here we go again.
Keel Watson on the carry.
And I think they found a soft spot up the middle, Jeff.
I do believe so.
And they're going to run it there until the Northern shows them that they're not going to be able to be successful there. They have been a perimeter running team, but it seems like the middle between the tackles and the off guard has been the bread and butter tonight. I guess they're going to stick with it.
At that time, they ran straight at number 88, Kyrie Jackson. Now they run away from him. Keel Watson on the carry, number 2, picking up some valuable yardage and a first down for the Trojans of Henry Ford. Power I formation, or the T, excuse me, to give to Watson. Watson has been the workhorse in this Trojan offense.
He's been their bread and butter man inside. He's key to that inside ground attack between the tackles. I would dare say he's closing, if not over 100 yards at this point in the game.
And how do you defend this little line? I know you probably faced some small lines in your career. How do you defend it, Stan?
When you are that, oh boy, the Blacks get out of that. That was an excellent play by Jackson when that played defensive end. Although he didn't make the tackle, he was smart enough to know that I have containment. I cannot let Black get outside of me. He forced him back inside to where his help was. The extra pursuit was coming in, and made sure that if I don't make the play, he's not going to get around me. And he forced Black inside because he knew he had help coming from the inside. Great play by Jackson. To answer your question about the small line, as you look at Coach Mike Marshall there on the sideline, is to be a small interior lineman, offensively or defensively, you've got to be in absolute great shape because you can't stand there and slug it out with somebody. You got to use your quickness every play to avoid contact as much as possible to make sure you can get to the ball. If you're a defender, as we look at Watson, twists and turns for some yardage, or that's an excellent run because you also get the first down there.
Yes.
Or if you're an offensive lineman, you get into somebody and get your momentum going before they get theirs going and get your drive going to make sure that you can sustain the block and get your ball carrier free. As you can see right here, you see those guys coming off the ball. As you can see, Watson there hits. One time he spins, one time there. He's still running, he spins again. And that second spin is exactly what he needs to get enough for the first down. Excellent run by Watson.
T formation. Watson gets the call again. .8:25 on the clock here in the fourth quarter, and this ball control offense of the Trojans. And here is a look at some second half statistics. Third quarter. As you can see the comparisons there, rushes 5 and for 30 yards.
Pretty dominant by the Henry Ford Trojans.
Yes.
As you can see, Northern makes a nice stop there on the 2nd and 2 play.
That was number 50, Tyree Brown, and Keel Watson slow getting up from fatigue. He had an early ankle injury, shook that off, got right back in it, and hasn't slowed one bit.
The Northern defense have obviously given up a lot of yards on the ground to Henry Ford. But in my opinion, they haven't played that bad. The only problem is they've been on the field too long. They haven't gotten any help from the Northern offense by getting sustained drives, getting 2 and 3 first downs in the series to make sure the defense can rest. I mean, albeit a lot of players that play offense do play defense. This is Jackson. But still, you can rest a little bit on offense because the ball is not always coming your way. On defense, you have to pursue the ball every time.
4th and 1 for the Trojans. Ball at the 38-yard line or 39-yard line. No punt here. Trojans will take a timeout, and they will talk it over. Big play right here. They get this first down, and they can run the clock at least 3 more minutes, run it down at least 3 to 4 more minutes at 6:48 here in the fourth quarter. Defensively, the Jayhawks really have to step it up.
They're in this ball game, Jeff. They really have an opportunity to make a stop here and make sure they can get back in the game.
With this timeout, we'll take a timeout. There's your score. The Trojans will go for it here, 4th in the yard, and they get the first down.
That's a big play there. As you mentioned before the play, Jeff, had Northern stepped up and made a stance and stopped him right there, they would have got the ball back with plenty of time. It's 6 minutes and 42 seconds, which still is a lot of time. However, they can run the plays that they want to plan, use good judgment on their offensive play calling, and got back in this football game with a lot of time on the clock.
At that time, I think the Jayhawk defense gambled, and they flip-flopped the ends. They moved Kyrie Jackson to the right, and the Trojans ran. They moved him to the left, and the Trojans ran right. They ran away from Kyrie Jackson that time.
Smart play. That's the man you want to stay away from. Jackson has been all over the field. He's shown that he can run a play down from the side, but if you run a dive play away from him, it hits too quick for him to come from one side to another, get it, string it out. Then he has an opportunity to get in the backfield and run a play down from behind. If you run a dive play opposite to where he's initially lined up, it's just hitting too fast for him to be able to make a play or be a factor in the play.
Sometimes you might have to move him almost to the middle.
Exactly.
Fumble on the play. Keel Watson loses it, but the Trojans recover.
That was the break that the Jayhawks were looking for. Unfortunately, they were not able to capitalize on it.
And look who's on top of, on the bottom of that pile there. Still trying to fight for that ball. I know you mentioned that before. You never know what goes on at the bottom of a pile. As you can see, the two players fighting for the pigskin.
Until the referee determines who is the owner of the ball, who the ball belongs to, you continue to fight, as we see here on the replay. And see running back Watson right there. Bounces outside, and he loses handle of the ball. The ball gets kicked around and bounced around. And there's an awful feeling right there. Watson's looking for someone to help him recover the ball, and his teammates come up and kind of bail him out from that fumble, so the coach won't be too mad at him because they do retain possession. Henry Ford Trojans ball with 4 minutes and 33 seconds to go.
Black, student body right. Trying to turn the corner, flags on the play. Holding might be the call there.
I think so, and actually that is another flag that came late, and I believe they're both going to go against the Trojans. Oh no, that's a illegal procedure.
Come on, Keel, come on, man, come on. Back it up, Keel.
Here's the official call, legal procedure.
Illegal procedure on the offense.
4:25 here in the fourth. And the clock not in the favor of the Northern Jayhawks right now. They have to get the ball back. So they walk it off against the Trojans, and maybe on this penalty I might have taken the down instead of the yardage.
You're exactly right, because you need the ball back. Definitely need the ball back, and getting them that down back does not benefit you at all.
3rd down and 19. They still had at least 14 yards to go.
Exactly.
Keel Watson on the carry.
You're exactly right, Joe.
Now it's 4th down. But this is 4-down territory, what I call it, especially for a team here. And well, the punt team is on the field for the Trojans. I guess it's not 4-down territory for the Trojans at this point in the game. As you take a look at the ground level shot replay of Keel Watson.
don't want to rough the kicker. You want to make sure he gets it off. Because where he kicks it, you're going to be pretty much by your 20-yard line anyway.
Not enough men on the field for the Trojans. The extra player gets on the field. Now they have the right number. And boom.
Oh, can't do that.
You almost could expect that.
Yeah.
So now they get back to the original line of scrimmage. That's going to go against the Trojans.
False start, the offense. Penalties against Henry Ford.
They're saying the center kind of moved the ball.
And that's a no-no. You can't do that.
Now, I've seen that play happen before. I've seen some other teams utilize that play where the linemen are just standing tall at the line, and then they just go down to a 2-point stance or a 3-point stance to try to draw the off like that, to try to draw the defense offside. Good punt.
Excellent punt. Let it go. Let it go.
Grabs it at the 2-yard line. That's Iran, and maybe he should have let that one go into the end zone. Good judgment there.
The rule of thumb is you don't want to field a punt inside the 10-yard line. The 10-yard line is the standard where if I have to step inside the 10-yard line, I need to let it bounce inside the end zone, because if it bounce, more than likely if it lands inside the 10, it's going to continue to bounce inside the end zone, and thus we get the ball at the 20. As you can see there, he fumbles it once, and one, he shouldn't have handled inside the 20-yard line. Two, if he decided to handle it, he needs to catch the football. It gives him an extra step to get as much yard as he possibly can get. 2 mistakes there, cost the penalty. Now they're starting on their, looks like their 11 or 12-yard line. With about 78 yards to go. See what the Henry Ford Trojans can do with 2 minutes and 49 seconds left. This series will decide the football game.
The Trojans take a timeout, and Mike Marshall, I don't think he wanted that particular timeout. That leaves the Trojans with only one timeout here in the fourth quarter. They could have saved that one, being so far deep. And look at Coach Dean. He's out there talking to the officials, and he's up in arms about something.
I think he's very upset about something.
And they let a lot of time tick off the clock, because now it's at 2:49, and they were right around the 3 minute and 15 second mark at that punt.
Exactly.
So a lot of time had ticked off, and then the Trojans called timeout to stop the clock. And I don't think Mike Marshall wanted that timeout. .3:49 on the clock. The Trojans on top of the Jayhawks, 22-14, and more flags. Here's the call. Illegal procedure, 5 yards walked off against the defense. Someone lined up in the neutral zone. We saw it a couple of weeks ago when the team went into the prevent defense, and the offensive team capitalized on it.
You got to be careful here if you're a Trojan defender. You don't want to get lax there and stop playing aggressive defense. You still want to play aggressive defense and play on their side of the line of scrimmage and attack.
That time Coakley threw into coverage. They had 3 back covering the wide out there. From 84 or 81 for Northern. Thomas Bennett. They have a group of very big receivers, this Northern team. All the receivers average over 6 foot, 6'2".
You're exactly right. We talked about the size and the speed of, excuse me, of Kyrie Jackson. But Kobe Andrews is not a little guy himself. So
right.
You saw it evident in that touchdown pass.
And good speed. And Thomas Bennett is not a little guy. As Coakley looking for some help. And finally brought down after picking up the first down. Northern has 2 timeouts left as we approach the 2-minute mark, and it looks like, oh boy, Coach Dean probably is going to take another timeout here.
Got an injured quarterback.
And, oh, it looks like, yes.
And I can tell you why, as we
down.
see right here. It's a very gutsy move on him. He obviously couldn't find anybody open, so he decided to run. And as he ran, he came upfield. I think he wasn't real smart here, and I hate to use that term because he was trying to be tough and get as much yardage as he can. You see his foot planted. He's trying to stay there and fight for yardage, and he won't go down, and that caused him to get injured.
So Northern has to go to their number 2 quarterback, Lonnie Kane. Coming in cold off the bench, goes across the middle to the big tight end, Kyrie Jackson. So the relief pitcher comes in and throws a strike.
He's very fortunate to have a kid who's been pretty much sitting the whole game to come in and throw a play like that on his first play with a confidence builder. And this game is not over yet. They're moving the chain.
Minute 44 and counting. In the fourth quarter, 22-14, Detroit Henry Ford in the lead. Jackson, look for him, number 88. They're going to his area, down the sideline.
Oh.
Jackson couldn't make the catch.
That's the one he needed to make. That was an excellent throw. The quarterback put the ball where it should have been, where only my man can catch it or it's going to be out of bounds. Excellent throw by the quarterback. And this kid's a backup.
And he's coming in cold off the bench.
Lonnie Kane has been sitting there, if you think about it. As we look at the clock right now, the time is 9:45 in the evening. The game started at 7:30, so he's been sitting there a little over 2 hours, and that's an excellent job for him who's been sitting on the bench for at least 2.5 hours.
Second down and 10. Ball on the Northern 35. Minute 28 on the clock. I formation. 2 receivers split wide to the left. And just as he was throwing it, and a late flag, oh my.
He might have roughing the quarterback here, along with maybe pass interference in the secondary. Yeah.
One of the defensive linemen for Henry Ford just can't believe the call. That late flag just came in after the play was over, and Lonnie Kane was laying on his back.
Exactly.
On the defense, first down.
And a pass interference call on the defense, which makes it an automatic first down for Detroit Northern. So the chains continue to move. Kane looking down the sideline for Andrews. They go up. And Shaun Black, the quarterback and part-time DB, back there to break it up.
Mike Marshall's got his best athletes back there in the secondary to go against Northern's best athletes. Pretty much here what's going to happen is going to be a jump ball in most situations. As we can see on the replay, we see Lonnie Kane drops back, looks for Jackson, he pump fake, he throws it up. A wobbly pass here, but in this prevent defense that the Trojans are playing, they're going to be there waiting for the ball. We're just going to see who's going to be successful enough to come down with the catch.
Well, Kobe Andrews won the last jump ball, and the results was a touchdown. Fumble on the play. Lonnie Kane tried to hand the ball off to Lamont Tate, and the handoff was too low. And it hit the hip of Lamont Tate, who probably didn't expect to get the ball. And there was a fumble, and Northern wants a timeout. And Coach Dean wants to talk it over. Here it is again, right here, Stan.
I thought a draw play wouldn't be a bad idea, but I thought he was faking, and actually he was pulling it out. And my question is, if you're not going to run a draw play, you don't need to be play action in this particular situation. You need to get your quarterback set up so he can survey the field and find the open man. Play action faking in this particular juncture of the ball game will not help you at all.
So Northern, with their second string quarterback in there, might have got the signals crossed and might have called the wrong play coming in the huddle, but Coach John Dean immediately called timeout to talk this one over because he didn't like what he saw there. And sometimes that happens. You get your signals crossed when you're running in plays with your running backs and your linemen, or with the signals from the sidelines. Sometimes your second string quarterback, who you say, might not have, didn't get any playing time, might not played limited during the season, and just, might have thought it was the play he saw signaled in, but really wasn't the play the coach wanted.
You understand, he probably didn't run with the first team offense in practice as well, so he's not familiar with maybe a kid who may have brought the play in and kind of mumbled the play, whereas all year long, okay, that means this, that, and the other, so he's put in a situation that's unfamiliar to him, as you mentioned, and it may have not paid off as we got the starting quarterback back in the game right now.
Little short pass to Jackson. He wins that tip. But Coakley got hit at the end of the play there by the linebacker. And they'll walk that one back because he was ruled out of bounds on the tip.
As you see the replay in here, as I said, Coakley's back in the game. There's a little pass that bounced up, and Jackson comes up with it. However, he bobbles it and goes out of bounds. This is a fourth down play here. This could be very well the ball game. You got fourth and about 15.
Under a minute on the big scoreboard.
The routes have to be ran at least.
Coakley stepping up, and William Ross the big fella, along with some help, gets the sack of Coakley. James Coakley will turn it over to the Henry Ford Trojans, and
all Henry Ford had to do was protect the football. They don't need to do anything fancy. I would run a play. They don't need to do anything fancy but protect the football.
Time of possession, a big factor in the fourth quarter that Henry Ford did not allow him really to touch the ball, but only twice.
They only had the ball twice, two possessions in the fourth quarter, and if you're behind, you can't have an opportunity to win in that type of situation.
That's right. Henry Ford will go to one knee. Shaun Black sensing victory. And the Trojans will face go to the second round of the playoffs.
Still trying to determine who that opponent will be.
Right. Northern calls a timeout. In this situation, you just call a timeout just to tell you guys, hey, what do you tell them? Don't give up.
Well, number one, and you never know, this ball may be fumbled the snap, may be fumbled at center. You get the ball back, all you need is one score and 2 points. You get caught.
Never over till it's over.
Exactly, So you got to tell them to try to create some type of turnover to see if they can get the ball back.
And you're right, I would line 2 men up or 3 men up on the center. And you just got to go right at him.
Exactly.
Because the clock doesn't start till the snap.
Ford will play the winner of Cass and Southeastern, is my understanding. And King will play just the winner of Cooley and Chatfield. That's the word that I got. I don't know how accurate it is, but we'll go with it.
Okay. Henry Ford gets the victory, though, as the time on the big scoreboard runs out. Your final score, the Henry Ford Trojans, 22, and the Northern Jayhawks, 14. We'll be right back with a quick wrap after this. Hold on, folks. Your score from Lorenzo Wright Field, Northern 14 and Henry Ford 22. And Henry Ford advances to the next round of the Detroit Public School League playoffs. And Stan, your final thoughts on this one?
I think the Trojans did exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to control the ground game, pass when needed. They didn't do a great deal of passing, and they normally don't do that. Henry Ford was dominant on defense. They got in the backfield, and they did the things they needed to do, particularly to disrupt Northern's offense in the second half. I thought Northern played an excellent first half, and they had an opportunity to make sure that in the second half when they came out of the field to capitalize off some of the things they did in the first half to make a game out of it. They did make a game of it somewhat. However, I just think they missed some tremendous opportunities in the second half to make sure that they would do the things they needed to do to win this ball game, and it didn't happen. As you can see right here in the second half stats, the telling sign was right there with the first down and the penalties. The first downs were actually even. The penalties were actually, Ford had more penalties too. But the ball, what we don't see up there and what was very key was the ball control and the ball possession and time of possession that Northern had the ball in the second half that didn't allow, that Ford had in the second half that didn't allow Northern any opportunities or many opportunities to even score.
I think Detroit Henry Ford did an excellent job on isolating Kyrie Jackson. The first half, he had a pretty dominant first half, and the second half, you didn't hear much from him.
Offensively and defensively, you're exactly right. What they did offensively, when Kyrie Jackson was on offense, they double-teamed him. And they made sure that if you're going to throw the ball to him, you're going to put two men on him. Defensively, what they did, they just ran away from him. They ran quick traps to the opposite side where he was, which nullified him and defensively where he was running plays down from behind. He couldn't do that, and he just was not a factor in the second half, as you mentioned.
All right. Well, that's the tale of the tape there. Final score right there. Henry Ford 22, Northern 14. And for the entire Comcast Cable crew, along with Walter Tune-Up Neal and Stanley Edwards, I'm Jeff Lowe, and we'll see you next time on the Detroit Public School League Game of the Week. So long, folks.